Hey, Wes here with Airstream Wanderings. Thanks for joining me today. We are starting the day off at Indian Bread Rocks in Arizona, ending the day near Caprock Mountain in New Mexico looking for manganese. Problem is that Google Maps sends us into no man's land. So come along, I'll show you where we end up. Been a bit of a day driving, but this is one of those days where you end up at a pretty cool place. This is called, I think, Indian Bread Rocks. It's a Bureau of Land Management, BLM land. And so all around here is dispersed camping, which means that you can camp wherever you want. And it's pretty cool. These are all, I think, granite rocks. And there's an old fort that is near here. Might hike to that tomorrow. So I feel fortunate. I've got a spot that's just cozied up against the rocks. It's really pretty here. And also the wind has just been howling, and it's going to continue to howl. Gusts to 50 miles an hour. That's just kind of the way it's going to be. And so because I'm right up next to the rocks, it does protect me somewhat from the wind. So it's not too bad right here. Also, there's storms that are kind of going across the country, and it looks as if tonight we might get snow here. Right now it's right around 60, so it's pretty pleasant. And but tonight it's going to drop below freezing, and there's a reasonable chance of a little bit of snow. I don't think that's really going to get in the way, and probably the ground and the roads are warm enough so things will dry off pretty quick. But for coming to Arizona, there has been warm weather before this week. There's going to be warm weather after this week. But that toasty warm weather with big blue skies, I've not seen a lot of that. Reasonable amount of sun, and it hasn't been uncomfortable. Compared to Minnesota, I am not going to complain, and it's been a very successful week doing all the things that I want to do. So this is kind of towards the end of the day. The sun is setting on the other side of the rocks. You can still see the sun is on some of the rocks back behind me. So it's about time to kind of get things organized, get some dinner together, and it's not going to be anything real fancy. So you may ask, what are we having for supper? And tonight we are having prime fillet of ground beef. It's also known as a hamburger. And I have here some Southwest Spicy Blend, warm and smoky. So I'd sprinkle a little bit of that on there. That should enhance it. Got an onion, so put some on that as well. And I actually haven't had any meat here much, so this will be kind of a fun treat. And you say, is that all we're having? Ground beef? Well, no, we are actually having gourmet sea salt and vinegar potato chips. They are going to be delicious along with our hamburgers. How could you go wrong with something like that? Here they are. I wish you could share some with me. Well, I think that it is starting to look pretty darn good. I'm just about ready to put it all together and have my gourmet meal. Here we go, our gourmet fillet of ground beef with sauteed onion, gourmet sea salt and vinegar potato chips, with of course only the best Heinz tomato ketchup, and it is served on fine Corelle china, imported all the way from the United States of America. And of course we need a beverage. Here we go, a nice upside down IPA. This is living large, folks. This is what it is all about. This is what I would like to be able to do someday. I also wish I told you that I made this, but I did not. This is Maverick Mountain Polychrome. It's a bowl made by Andy Ward, the person who's helped me out so much. It is made with all the traditional materials, hand-dug clay. All the paint materials are originally sourced minerals found around Arizona. And in fact, this pot or bowl is formed very much after one that is in a museum. It's not exactly the same, but it's very similar, certainly done in the very traditional sense. I think it is absolutely gorgeous, and I am very proud, I guess, and happy to be the new owner. I'm glad that Andy was willing to part with it. What a nice thing to be waking up to in the morning. Sun coming up in the east, kind of those mysterious clouds, and all these beautiful rocks all around. After a nice night's sleep, everything is getting illuminated, and we get to start a new day. Boy, how can we complain about this? Hey, well, good morning, everybody. After such a beautiful sunrise, I'm out on the road. I stopped, got some more gas. I can now go about 500 miles without any more. Got a sandwich with egg and sausage. That was delicious. And of course, a cup of coffee. That first one of the day is always amazing. So it's looking like a good day, and I'm going to make a couple of stops that I really didn't expect I would. I don't remember the name of it, but there's a particular mountain, although it's not a huge mountain, and there was a mine there, and that's a place to get manganese. So it's in New Mexico, but there's manganese there, and the reason I want that is because you can make black paint with manganese. That's what the typical black paint was, other than they also used organic material. Sorry for the wind noise, but here I am out in the middle of New Mexico looking for a manganese mine, and I rely on Google Maps to take me where I want to go. And so I want to show you the road that they have me going on. Let me turn the camera around. Okay, there you go. That is the road that Google Maps says that I should be going on. What do you think? That would be a good choice? I should have checked the maps a little bit more carefully, I guess. Best thing for me to do is turn around and go down the very not so great road that I was on before and see if there's another way I can attack this. Still beautiful country out here. Nobody in your way, that's for sure. Well, I've got to tell you, this is quite a lot of work for, well, probably a few ounces or a pound of black rock. But it is beautiful out here, I can tell you that. I see that they raise a few cows. I would imagine that it would take about 100 acres per cow to feed these guys, because there's not a whole heck of a lot out there to eat. Yeah, it's all part of the adventure. This is the new trail, and it's the end of the line for me. The map says I've got about a third of a mile, so I think I'll walk up there and see what I can find. Be disappointed if I find out there's a really terrific road on the other side of this hill. So I believe this is the entrance to the old mine. Of course, it's all been caved in, which is a great idea. It'd be not very safe to go inside one of these places. All right, this is what we came here for. Manganese. So just very black rock. Some of this is nicer than others. But the idea is you just crush it to make black paint. I'm going to look for some other stuff that's maybe more pure, but I have enough to take home and work on. Interestingly enough, it started to snow a little bit too. I'm very impressed with the people who started these mines in the desert Southwest. First of all, it's amazing that they found a place to dig out this manganese. Then I suspect almost all of it was done by hand and dynamite. It would have been back-breaking labor. Hopefully that came out well for them. And I'm grateful that I have a good supply now of manganese, enough so that I think I could probably paint the Sistine Chapel. Google did another number on me, sent me down the road, and before I knew it, I came up to farmhouse. And it may be the only one in about 100 square miles. I'm not exactly sure. But in any case, this long, tall cowboy strode out in his Wrangler jeans, cowboy boots, and black Stetson hat. He was just as slender as his cows seemed to be, and he was wondering where I was going. Don't blame him. I'm sure he doesn't get a whole lot of visitors out this way. So I told him, and he gave me directions. He was a nice gentleman, and once I was on my way, he and his dog got back in his pickup, and he took off, and I am now on my way to Silver City. All is good. It's been quite a day with Google, and this is the road they want me to take to Silver City, New Mexico. I think that I will look for an alternate route. Thanks for joining me on my little adventure today. I appreciate that. I wish you happiness, health, peace, and love. Until next time, see you later. Bye-bye.